here we go again. So if you came here today expecting a normal video, you're gonna be disappointed. So I feel like I always do these kind of sit-down videos anytime I'm in like this huge transitional period of my life, and most of the time it's out of stress. And I'm not gonna pretend like I don't have the time to put together a video, because I have between time that I could have used to plan something out and film it. But as I'm sure you can tell, I got a lot going on right now, and my mind just hasn't been in the right place to do that, regardless of however much time I have in between. So I thought today we could relax, just sit on the floor, and talk about our feelings. My feelings. Although you can put your feelings down in the comments, I'll read them. And you know what? If you don't want to hear me talk today, then bye! Alright, so I feel like most of you know, but for those of you who don't, Jordan and I bought a house, and it has been a very long-going process that we started back in January, but finally, third time's the charm, and the third house that we've put an offer in on, we finally get to close on. So you guys are watching this Wednesday, so Friday, we're gonna be going in and signing all the paperwork and officially becoming homeowners, and I don't think that's fully set in with me yet. I'm kind of in this weird headspace. So like, I'm moving forward, I'm taking the steps that we need to take, I'm filling out all the paperwork, gathering all the information. Like, we're doing everything that we need to be doing to get this going, but like, still it hasn't sunk in yet. And that really sucks because the next few days are gonna be insanely busy. I mean, you guys can already tell I've been very busy. So I haven't really put much thought into anything creative at all lately. I haven't been working on any new products for my shop. I haven't been planning out videos. In fact, I haven't had a proper like video schedule in quite a while. I've just kind of been making it up on the fly. Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't. If you haven't, good for me. But as stressful as this whole process has been, this move is not as stressful as our move from Owasso for a few different reasons. The first and biggest, of course, being money. We're a lot better off now than we were back then, and that's huge. But another huge reason is just family and friends. And before, we were so far from anybody, and the people that we were close to, we weren't close enough to that they would actually help us. So it was a very rough move. But this time around, we are close to family, we're close to friends. Just in our time here, we have made a whole buttload of new friends. It's been great. I think you guys know who you are, and if you're watching, I love you. So that has been huge, 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 huge in managing my stress levels. And then a third, probably smaller, but also still kind of important reason why this move isn't as stressful is I've been taking better care of myself. I've been eating better, I've been exercising regularly, and like Amber and I actually just completed a 30-day ab challenge, which felt great, and I feel so strong. And I know exercise is a huge mood booster, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with it as well. So even though this is huge and there's a lot going on, I'm still doing a lot better than I have in the past. So I also thought today we could reminisce a little bit, because I was thinking a lot about my entire life, but mostly just all of the chapters in my life and how they are all very distinct, and most of them seem to end with like a big move. And also, interestingly, they all seem to be happening in like 3-year increments, which is kind of interesting. So weirdly, or maybe cutely, or whatever you want to consider it, I imagine my story starting when I met Jordan, because that seems to be when my life, his life, our life seemed to be really moving forward. So that first 3 years of our life and our relationship, we spent dating, and then also because we got engaged fairly early, like 1.5 years into the relationship, and then 1.5 years after that, we ended up getting married, which I think nowadays is actually really soon. I feel like most people wait years before they get engaged, but we moved pretty fast, and fortunately it's worked out well for us so far. But after our wedding, it was only a few months later that Jordan applied for the ADI program at Baker College, and we moved to Owasso. And that big move kind of marked the end of that first chapter of our lives and started something completely new. because of course in Owasso we didn't know anybody. We were 3 hours from our friends and our family, which I know there are more substantial distances between people, but it felt like we might as well have been across the country. And while that was hard, at the same time, I think our time in Owasso was really important and very interesting, because it was the first time in either of our lives that we ever really went out of our way to do anything just for ourselves. I mean, there was my brief time in Schaumburg, but that's another story that I'm not gonna talk about today. But it was just the two of us in this strange city where we didn't know anybody, and we were so far from anybody that we did know, and we had to essentially start something all new. We had to make new friends and find new jobs, and it was actually during my time in Owasso that I began doing YouTube. So while Jordan was working on his dream, I was working on trying to build a dream of my own. So Jordan was in school for 2.5 years, and then he graduated, and then once again, another 3-year chapter of our life was over, and we ended up moving. You know, I mean, I might as well say it, right? We ended up moving to the Grand Rapids area. So we were much closer to friends and family, and I would say our time here in this apartment, in this area, was huge, particularly for me, as far as personal growth and just overall like inner well-being, because that chapter started with me in an incredibly low place. And I don't really like talking about it because it's over now and I've moved past it, and there was one very substantial aggressor in my life that I finally got rid of, and I'm so glad. I mean, I still have to deal with it on a somewhat regular basis, but I put up with it. Like, I'm to the point where I can put up with it. But I'm just glad to be done with that. And from the point of cutting that out of my life, I've just been able to grow more and more and more. Before that, my plans for myself were very vague. And I mean, I had like an idea of what I wanted, but I wasn't really putting it into any kind of action. So a huge one is I started to take my videos a lot more seriously. I mean, before that, yeah, I had fun with them, but there were a lot of days where I was like, I don't really feel like it, so I'll just throw something together real quick. But I feel like I've gotten better about that. And another huge thing for me was focusing more on my artwork. So I started drawing more and researching more, you know, looking at other artists and what they do, and I worked on developing my own style and eventually opened my own Etsy shop, which the link is down below. You should check it out. And I've been really pushing to put myself out there more and to be more energetic and more of a people person and to really do more for myself and for my future, which is actually very difficult for me to do because I'm a very withdrawn person. I'm a very low energy person. I've shared this all with you before, and it's hard for me sometimes to really work up that energy, and I know that it's something that kind of comes with practice, and I think I'm getting better. But another huge factor is just me trying to be nicer to myself. And it's gonna sound so cheesy. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because maybe it's a little embarrassing, but I mean, we're always so mean to ourselves. And so lately I have been trying my absolute best to feed my body good, healthy food and to work out regularly, and most importantly, just to thank myself every day for working as hard as I do, thanking my body for doing everything that it does, because our bodies are pretty amazing, guys, and just doing things to pamper myself and thank myself for doing the absolute best I can, which in the end is all any of us can really do. Every day you just do your absolute best, and hopefully it's better than the day before, but progress doesn't exactly work in a linear line. So it's kind of weird being at this point now, recognizing the end of this chapter, I guess identifying it as a chapter, and I'm just kind of interested what this next chapter is gonna be. Like, if it's gonna continue on in like 3-year increments, and if it does, what is the next big thing gonna be? Because the only thing I'm thinking is children, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna be ready for that. But I guess in 3 years we'll see. So I think this is probably gonna be the last video that I record in this tiny little apartment. Maybe I'll do one small, very farewell video similar to what I did in Owasso. Maybe not, because that was a pretty cringy video. And I feel like I'm kind of past that moody girl time of my life. So I am super excited for this house. I'm super excited to move in. I'm super excited to start creating videos in the new house and on my property, and I think you guys are gonna find kind of a shift in the type of videos that I do. I think you'll find there's gonna be a lot more DIY videos, a lot more gardening videos, home improvement videos, just overall lifestyle and just home life kind of videos, which I'm really excited about. I hope that you guys are excited too. I hope you're here for me and not just a particular video style that I put out. If you're not, I understand, but hopefully you'll continue to grow with me. I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed. I have really big goals for the future, and you guys can help with them. So, give me some thumbs up for a good job on this last chapter of my life, or give me a thumbs up as a good luck to this next chapter. If you're new to my channel and you sat through this whole video listening to me talk about just random crap, please consider subscribing. I think I'm a pretty cool chick. You should stick around and see what all I'm able to accomplish. And that being said, guys, I will see you the next time around in my new house.